Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The word is now for something entirely different. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't work in the public sector, so you're free to leave. But what I have done, I've been a procurement practitioner in the public sector for quite a few years, and I've seen procurement change dramatically from an administrative, pen-pushing, low function into a profession that's really trying to become more strategic and adding value. And that is a long journey, requiring some significant culture change. So my last proper job was procurement director at Tata Steel, which is a big global steel manufacturing company who frequently get in the news. And I was responsible for 18 sites and about 100 people. And we had some real nightmares. But of late, in the last 4 or 5 years, I've worked for the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply and IACCM, the International Association of Contract and Commercial Management, helping to develop people, particularly in the public sector, and how to do fair, reasonable, transparent, professional contracting. And we've worked with the MOD, WP, DVLA, you name it. Okay, it's a bit of background. What I'm going to do now is talk to you about some stories, some nightmare stories, where there's been a complete absence of common sense. Now, in the private sector, we don't have all these rules and regulations. And people in the public sector say, well, you're so lucky. But no, we're not, because we have some real maverick spend, because we don't necessarily have the processes. And when it comes to actually getting the contract right in the first place, which I think a lot of legal people would advocate, we get it right. There's probably some good examples of where procurement are just put in a place where they cannot put a contract in place that's going to be effective or efficient and deliver risk management. So my first story is about the guy called Kim. And it's when I worked at Tata Steel, and Kim was manufacturing some small components. So we made big bits of metal, we made little bits of metal, and he made the little bits of metal. And Kim couldn't make enough of these, there were major demand. So Kim decided he needed another widget machine. We'll keep it simple for the less technical amongst us. And so Kim decided he wants a new widget machine, a bigger, better, faster, quicker, you name it, widget machine. And he rings his mate up. It could be his mate at Siemens, it could be his mate at Daniele, it could be Mrs. Alston, all these big automation providers. And his mate will come along. He knew him from his last job and his job before that, so he's sound. We'll call him Fred. Fred comes in, Kim tells me about his problem. Fred says, I can sort your problem out. And so that, oh yeah, no problem. Really? Yeah, okay, get us a price. Oh yeah. So we have a really robust governance structure here. Gets a price. Here's the price. Okay, now what you need to do, get a budget. Just so take his calculations. You might have a bit of a net present value in there, or it might even have a return on capital in there. And he'll take it to the accountants. And the accountants will say, that looks all right. So if you get it delivered in September, it will deliver twice as many, and we'll have a return in the year of 60,000 quid, for example. Yeah. And Kim rings his mate up, Fred, and says, hi Fred, I'm just, we've got to go ahead on that widget machine now. And his Fred said, yeah, okay, we'll need a purchase order. At this point, Kim says, oh, I've got to go and see procurement. And I know what they're going to do. They're going to try and talk the price down. They're going to try and put loads of terms and conditions. So Kim will come to procurement. And we'll speak to one of my guys who will say, I want a contract in place, I want a purchase order. Bit boring. And they'll say, yeah, but I've got the budget. Only this one supplier can do this. Just one supplier. Yeah, okay. Why is it just one supplier? Why? Because there's only spoken to one supplier. At which point, procurement probably get about a week to try and negotiate a contract with a supplier who already knows a goal. So when it comes to managing risk, protecting its late delivery, indemnities, liabilities, reduction in price, perhaps, you haven't got a leg to stand up. And I've been in that position more times than I've had up dinners, as they say, up north. So I'm suggesting, and what I do in my training delivery in public and private sector, is to look at a robust process. I've got Apple products. That I do. No, that I do. Oh, lovely, jubbly, thank you. So, how do we do it? Like that. It's a bit slow, isn't it? Nearly as slow as I am. So what do we do? Well, it all starts with that business case. What we tend to forget is what are the vulnerabilities to the delivery of that business case. And once we've established what the vulnerabilities are, then what is the specification? Because what tends to happen, we get someone to come in and they tell us what the specification is. And they say, oh yes, it will deliver. And we say, okay, yeah, we'll have one of those, that part number. But actually, we should be making sure that critical success factors find themselves in that specification. So understanding what parameters need to be in there that ensure that we get what we want and that we know we've got what we want. And some milestones even to make sure as we go along the journey, we can make sure we're going to get what we want. And then making sure we've got key performance indicators in that contract that make sure we've got some monitors on performance in terms of quality, time and cost, which are the things that generally cause a contract to fail. And then these be embedded in the contract. And that's where the legal people get involved, because they're the ones that make sure our contract is fair, legal, not unambiguous, and they can help us by understanding that as we're getting involved early in the game to make sure that we've got a robust contract that actually will give us some help when we want to, if we have to, have a conflict. And then basically risk ownership. See, what we tend to do in procurement is have a very adversarial relationship with suppliers, probably because we get involved a bit late in the day, a bit like some in-house lawyers, and we have to work with the contractor who has the upper hand. So we tend to have this adversarial relationship, but really risk should be brainstormed together with the potential vendor to understand that risk should be in the right place. It's not a case of what we do in procurement, which is put all the risk onto the contractor, screw them down on price, for a better expression, and then hope it works. And that's probably why a lot of people in the public sector are now handing contracts back because they're just unsustainable. So again, making sure that risk is in the best place for the person who can actually manage it, and then looking at how we identify mitigation plans. And then really those indemnities, damages, sorry I'm talking legal stuff now, that are in the contract to protect you as an awarding body or as a customer should really not be onerous or punitive. What we try and do is up it as much as possible, and then the supplier will say, I'll cap it to the value of the contract. At which the worst thing that can happen is they walk away with nothing, which they're not going to. It could be not the value of the damages, so we end up getting, say, 100,000 when the damages are more like 400,000 or 500,000, or, for example, I've got a lot of examples of that, or we get to the point where the damage is so high that the contractor basically will either fail or will walk away from the contract. And particularly in the Ministry of Defence, there was a good example, and it was quite publicly stated, where the vest that went out to Afghanistan went to the latest model. And there was a big hoo-ha in the paper. And it turns out that the provider of the vests couldn't actually meet the demand. And the damages in the contract were so low, it was actually easier for them to walk away. So they did. So again, getting that right and understanding who is responsible for mitigating risk, not who is responsible for sorting it out afterwards when it's all gone wrong. So, there we are. So when it comes to this final piece of risk management is, basically we should assess it, probability times impact times proximity. So how soon will we know there is a risk that's a vulnerability will actually become a reality? Enable us to prioritise risks based on that assessment, making sure we've got a risk register with clear ownership both in the contractor and in the customer, and a mitigation plan that actually reduces that risk, and a review process. One thing from SIPS, the Chartered Institute of Purchasing Supply, global professional body, is the 4 T's, which is we've got 4 options with risk. We either treat it by doing something with it, by getting a plan that will reduce it, we transfer it, so either give it to a third party or to the supplier. We tolerate it, it could be a low level risk and we'll live with it, or we actually terminate it by walking away and looking for another option. Okay, so my final word is, it's Chippindale 2017, 2 minutes of fame. More than 2 minutes, but well, that's it. Oops, I have to find my slide here. Right. Thank you. Just the final one. It's sticky, isn't it? It is. Hold your breath. There we go. It's a message to procurement. I'm not quite sure how many procurement professionals are in the room, but robust risk protection comes at a price. And it's just a case of when you choose to pay that price, either up front with a robust model that's fair to both parties, or afterwards when it all goes horribly wrong. And that's my statement for 2017. I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mandy. Now the floor is open for questions. We have questions for our 2 speakers, or perhaps you want me to start off. Okay. My first question goes to Chris. And this is starting off from your last statement of keep your in-house lawyer close. And what happens where the in-house lawyer, who has a bird's eye view of the organizational structure and culture, as well as the risk arising from that situation, is in disagreement